Hello, the purpose of this video is to show how to add resources to DevOps Guru using tags. What you see in front of you is the DevOps Guru console, the main page. We're going to go to the Analyze Resources link on the left nav, and then we're going to click Edit Analyze Resources. Before I talk about tags, I'm going to talk a little bit about DevOps Guru and how to add resources. There are three ways to add resources to DevOps Guru. One is you can choose the whole account and region. This makes your account and region your resource boundary. DevOps Guru will analyze every supported resource in your account and region if you choose this option. Another option grayed out, but can be used, is CloudFormation stacks. CloudFormation stacks can be used to specify resources that you'd like DevOps Guru to monitor. A stack contains resources that are generated using AWS CloudFormation, and in DevOps Guru, you can choose individual stacks or all stacks in your account to be monitored. The option called tags, which we'll go into deeper discussion on today, allows you to use AWS tags to specify resources. Now, an AWS tag contains a key and a value. In DevOps Guru, you choose one tag key and optionally choose one or more values that are paired with that key. You can use the values to group your resources into applications. Now, it's really important to mention for DevOps Guru, in order to use tags with DevOps Guru, you have to begin your tag with the prefix DevOps-Guru- and then whatever you want to call that tag key. If you are not familiar with tags, I'll just briefly give a little background. Each AWS tag has two components. There's a tag key, which is a label or identifier that you assign to a resource. It's typically a short string that represents a category, attribute, or aspect of the resource. For example, you might use a tag keys like environment, project, owner, or cost center. Tag keys are case sensitive. And again, as I mentioned earlier, a tag key for DevOps Guru must start with a DevOps-Guru- prefix. Now, the second component of tags is called a tag value. The tag value is a corresponding value associated with the tag key. It provides additional information or context about the resource. For example, it might be production or a team name. You can omit a tag value, but it's the same as using an empty string. Like tag keys, tag values are case sensitive. Together, these are known as a key value, tag key value. Now, most AWS services support tagging. So you can assign the same tag to resources from different services to indicate that the resources are related. And in order to create tags for your resources, there are three ways that you can do so. The one I prefer to use is the tag editor console. And you can use the tag editor in the tag editor console to create tags for your resources. Another way of doing adding tags is using a specific AWS service API operation. The tagging API operation supported directly by an AWS service. And you can discover what tagging functionality each AWS service provides by seeing the service's documentation. And the last way is using resource groups tagging API. I do want to mention that the tag editor console doesn't support all services. It supports most services, but there are some services where you can't use the tag editor and you have to use a service API. So I want to call that out. All right. So now that we've provided a little detail on what tags are, we're going to talk a little bit more about how to add these to use tags to add resources to DevOps Guru. So the first thing you'll want to do if you select you want to use tags, you want to make sure your account doesn't have an existing tag key already. So I'm in the tag portion of our console, and I can see, oh my account's already got a tag key. Now I can use this one or create a new tag key and overwrite it, but I think I'm going to use this one. So now that I know that my account already has a tag key associated with it, I'm going to use this to tag this key to tag new resources that I want DevOps Guru to cover. So I'm going to remember that this is called DevOps Guru, DevOps-Guru-defaults. And I also see there's a tag value called database-1 that is currently being monitored. And then there's another tag that's been created, but no resources are currently being monitored under that tag value. So we're going to go use this DevOps Guru default and go to the tag editor and add additional resources to DevOps Guru. So again, I'm going to take note of this tag key, but I'm going to go to the tag editor. So I'm going to go to the tag editor and I'm just going to type that in. I've also got a bookmark, but we're going to show everyone how to do this. I go to tag editor, and this is the tag editor. And what I can do here is I can select resource types and individual resources that I might want to add to DevOps Guru, but I need to assign a tag to them in order for DevOps Guru to monitor them. So it's defaults my current region, but I'm going to look up, in this case, I'm going to look up some DynamoDB tables, and I'm going to look up some RDS instances. I do want to note that if you use tags for enabling RDS instances to be monitored by DevOps Guru, you must tag instances. Do not tag clusters. That won't do anything. You need to tag the actual instance. So now that I've selected these two resource types, I'm going to get a list of all of my resources in this account by clicking search resources. I don't have many resources in this account. You'll see that some of them are tagged already. I want to find a resource. I want to add a DynamoDB resource called new table. I want DevOps Guru to cover this. Currently, it says not covered. So I'm simply going to click this resources. You can also multi-select, but I'm going to just select the individual resource. And I'm going to click Manage Tags of Selected Resources. So what this does, it brings up the resource. And here, I'm going to add that DevOps Guru default tag that I saw in DevOps Guru. So what that's going to do is, if I add this value or this tag key, that resource will now be at least something that I can monitor. I'm going to actually add a tag value to this. This is a DynamoDB, so I'm going to add DynamoDB example, and this is going to be the tag value. So here I'm going to review it. It's telling me what I just did. I added a tag key and a tag value, and I'm going to apply changes. Now, if I had multiple items selected, it would have applied them all. So now I'm going to go back to DevOps Guru. And again, I'm going to go to Analyze Resources, Edit Analyze Resources, and I'm going to choose Tags. And I scroll down and see the tag. So now the tag value that I just added is now showing up. It's also showing up as not enabled. Well, I want to enable this. I want to enable that resource that I just added to this tag value. So I'm going to click this, and I'm going to click Save Now. And what that's going to do is add that analyzed resource. So that now appears in my list, or will here shortly. Okay, well, we're going to go, while that's waiting to populate, we're going to go back to the Edit Analyze Resources, and you'll see that this tag value is now enabled. It just takes a minute to propagate, so it's not showing yet in the list. But we'll check one more time. This is how you're able to see the resources in your account, what we're monitoring, and you'll see the tag key. And in this case, the resource just hasn't populated yet, but we are monitoring it. Again, we can see that it's been enabled. So I do want to mention one other thing on this page. There's an option when you're tagging to choose all account resources. What this option does, it will look at your account and it analyzes all the AWS resources in the current region and account, and resources with a selected, I'll just show you by clicking on it. Resources with a tag, a DevOps Guru tag key, are grouped together by tag value if there is one. And then resources that don't have a DevOps Guru tag associated with it are kind of grouped together in their own boundaries. So in this case, we'll be monitoring all of your resources, but we will be grouping those that are tagged together as like their own applications. I recommend you choose specific tag values, because this way you can isolate the number of related resources together rather than enabling your whole account. So that would be my recommendation. So what I've just showed you here is how to add a resource to DevOps Guru using tags. Now that's using kind of an existing account. If you have RDS resources that you're adding to DevOps Guru, I wanted to also show something you can do here in the RDS console. So I'm going to go to the RDS console. Now we have this, for RDS, we have a special integration. And if you have Amazon Aurora MySQL, Amazon Aurora PostgreSQL, or Amazon RDS for PostgreSQL resources, you can actually turn on Amazon DevOps Guru while creating a new production database using the standard template from within the Amazon RDS console. A default option appears to turn on DevOps Guru if this instance is eligible. So I'm just going to show you really quick how this would work. So you click Create Database, and again, for Aurora MySQL, Aurora PostgreSQL, or Amazon PostgreSQL, or Amazon RDS for PostgreSQL. So this option, and this option. If you choose any of these, and we're going to choose Amazon Aurora MySQL. So we're going to choose the standard. You have to choose the standard create, and then when you choose that, you'll see the selection called Turn on DevOps Guru defaulted on. Oops. Now you can turn that off if you don't want it on. But so that means anytime you create an instance using this standard create for Aurora MySQL, Aurora PostgreSQL, or PostgreSQL, Amazon RDS for PostgreSQL, you'll get this option that it will be automatically added. So if you just create the database from here, it will be automatically added to DevOps Guru. Now, it only will if you've selected an existing DevOps Guru customer and you selected cloud formation stacks or the whole account for Amazon DevOps Guru to monitor your resources, this option will not show. It only works with tagging. If you shows tagging as your option to add resources to DevOps Guru. There's also another way within the RDS console to add resources. And that's by going, first of all, we're going to go to the data dashboard, and then we're going to go to Performance Insights. Now, here you would search for one of your databases, and we're going to select this one. When you go to the Performance Insights database, you'll see this option here. It's called Turn on DevOps Guru. And here you can simply click this button. Unfortunately, you can't do this in bulk. You have to do this one by one for your resources. But you can click on this button, and you can see it brings up a way to add this resource, this database, directly to DevOps Guru. So here I can turn on DevOps Guru for this resource from, again, within the RDS console on the Performance Insights page. So you'll see that it applies a tag value. It's got the, you see, it's got the default DevOps Guru tag key. So if I click this button here, this will automatically show up in DevOps Guru for monitoring. So this, again, you can do one by one. You can't use the Performance Insights to bulk add instances. Now, again, I want to remind you that for RDS resources, you have to tag at the database level. Tagging at the cluster level, we won't see that. It has to be at the resource level, at the database instance level. So I would recommend, these are cool options, and if you want to isolate, only add a couple RDS instances, you might choose this method, but I still prefer the tag editor, where I can go here. Okay. Like I mentioned, I prefer using the tag editor. And again, by going to the tag editor here, if I have a lot of RDS instances I want to add, I can just, I can get a list of all my instances here, search resources, and it brings up all, and I can select multiple instances and then manage them, and then add a tag, add that DevOps Guru tag, and then review and apply tag changes. And then when I go to DevOps Guru, I will then, once they're added, once the tag is added, I go back to DevOps Guru. And I choose tags up here. Then I would choose specific tag values. And then the tag value that I added would automatically appear here, but I would need to select it and save it for DevOps Guru to monitor it. So this was a quick overview of how to add resources using tags and DevOps Guru. I hope it was helpful.